Well, after Head Loss FC episode of View from the Ninian, we're back. 2 wins in a week. Unbelievable stuff. And we're joined by the full complement of hosts. Ben Price, Tom Phillips are back in the studio. Tom Phillips, welcome back. How's your week off?
Yeah, been good, thank you. Rested up and rearing to go. And you were actually quite nice to me on the pod last week. I only watched like the first 5 minutes just to see if you slated me, and you didn't, so turned it off then.
You don't watch it. You don't watch the pod when you're not on it. Is that a look into your ego there?
Yeah, I used to not listen back to anything I did, but now I quite enjoy my own work. So I like to tune in now.
Ben Price, you're here. You haven't had a week off, have you?
No, for once. I'm two in a row. I think this is this is a season best for me.
Yeah, it feels like we haven't really had the three of us together for much of this season, even though it's probably been every week because we're on about episode 20 already this season. It's only the end of September.
No, I've missed 6, 7. Admittedly, wow. 4 of those weren't my fault. Well, sort of were my fault. My body's fault, but not mine.
Yeah, that is you though, isn't it? Your body is you, so it is kind of your fault.
Yeah. So we have missed quite a few. It's been quite up and down, but it's nice to have the usual team back in there.
Nice to have the usual team back and to celebrate some wins for once. 2 games this week, 1 in the Carabao Cup, 1 in the league, and 2 wins. The first game, Ben, Burnley on Tuesday night. I had a little look on the head-to-head. We haven't had a good record against Burnley in the last few years. The last win we had against them came in 2012, which is by Ryan March's maths around 23 years ago. And obviously this week we went to Turf Moor, which hasn't been... I say, Tom, the amount of times we've been to Turf Moor in recent seasons and have seen disaster classes, I didn't really have much hope, Ben, but we were just really good, weren't we?
Yeah, it's just bizarre to see it. I went on BBC Wales News and was saying how the fact we've gone from we finished bottom, they finished top. And if you asked who's enjoying themselves more right now, it's us by far. I mean, you can't enjoy yourself while looking at Scott Parker's ugly mug at the best of times. But yeah, it's just bizarre how drastic of improvement. I know it wasn't like their full strength side and it wasn't like the best Burnley side they could have put out, but I know we were the better side. It wasn't like a smash and grab sort of cut victory. It was us being the better side and deservingly getting the win, and that's mad when they're playing in the Premier League now.
Yeah, on your point about the team, I know it wasn't their first choice lineup, but Tom, there's still some players in there that you think they're top half Championship, maybe Premier League footballers. You've got people like Armando Broja from Chelsea, Zion Fleming, who had a really good season last season, Hannibal, Joe Worrell, Axel Tuanzebe. They're kind of players that if we were in the Championship, you'd probably go, yeah, I wouldn't mind signing them.
Yeah, they were players that when I read the team sheet, I was like, oh, God, this could get messy if they score early sort of thing. It's quite like the names that kind of do put a little bit of fear into you when you are down in League One. But like you said, like Ben said, we were the much better team in that game from start to finish. The football we were playing, we just looked like a team who had a system, knew what their jobs were, and just classic cliche of wanting it more. The Burnley team genuinely looked like they couldn't be asked. I must admit, they were off it from start to finish. But yeah, we were absolutely brilliant. It's one of the most assured performances I've seen from a Cardiff team in the Cup for a decade, probably. It was unbelievable.
And Ben, we talk about that first half, but how impressive is it that as a team under BBM, we can chop and change things? Obviously, he made changes. People like Callum Chambers came back into the team. You have to change things going into these games because obviously they're coming thick and fast at the moment. But we didn't look like a weakened team, did we, for all those changes? It's a system where the players come in, know their roles, and we play as normal.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people have mentioned that I think we're on our 6th different centre-back pairing this season, and compared it to last year where a lot of us were saying rightly that he was an issue. I think it's a big difference that we're trying to give players game time here and playing the form. This is BBM rotating, not BBM trying to find
not
the best
a reason, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, and that's where the difference is with this. And it works, man, because I thought I'll be honest, I didn't watch it live. I watched it the full 90 back the next day. I want to watch Penabont against Cardiff Met. And I wasn't interested. I just wasn't asked. I thought this was going to be, like we said in the preview, it was going to be a 2-0 loss. Yeah. And job's done. And I'm really disappointed that I missed it. It's got me really looking forward to the next round now because yeah, players coming in.
Oh, fair weather fan Ben Price. We're playing
100%.
Wrexham. Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Oh, get me in that doc. I will make up some sob story and try and meet Ryan Reynolds. It's fine.
I had a bad body for a bit. Could I meet you, please, Ryan Reynolds?
Excuse me, Mr. Deadpool. I coughed up some blood. Can I get on your show, please?
He might donate you £5,000 because he's such a nice fellow.
He's a good egg. Yeah, that's the thing.
He's a
But
really
yeah,
good egg.
we'll talk about the Wrexham
Anyway,
stuff.
Get back up. Come on.
Yeah, it's just playing.
You being a fair weather fan.
It's rotating it, and is it Simon Chambers? Is it sort of him getting back into the squad and like playing there is brilliant. Sort of seen him at Arsenal a few times when I went to Highbury and had a wonderful time.
Oh, I see. You're making a joke.
Do you think you thought I bottled it then? You thought I got the name wrong?
No. I didn't think that. I thought it was like a reference to like a commentator or something because everyone kept going on. I didn't really notice it at the time when I was watching it. People were going on Twitter about like the commentator saying that we were in League One all the time. We were always in League One. I just didn't really note it at the time, but I wondered if he'd called Chambers Simon or something, and I missed it.
League One Cardiff City, I think. That like how it was Frank Lampard's Derby County.
Yeah.
In that game, it was League One's Cardiff City.
Anyway, Tom, let's talk about the first goal. Joel Colwell got the first. Callum Chambers, as we've already talked about, with the assist. Did you ever expect to hear that as a sentence?
No, it's a bit of a mad one, really. But it was just a lovely goal. Yeah, Callum Chambers, or Simon, as he's known to his mates, like he had a stormer. He had a really, really good game. It was the type of performance that we've wanted to see from him and we've been expecting of him, playing at the higher level that he has done earlier in his career. He was absolutely brilliant. And Joel Colwell, man, like it makes such a difference, like having him in there.
His energy is unbelievable.
Yeah, like we missed him against Bradford and like it just completely changes the way we play. Like he's up and down that field. He gets into those positions in the box quite a lot as well. And he's going to pop up with more and more goals because he's just in the right place at the right time consistently. And yeah, it was just a fantastic, well-worked goal. And it was just one example of many in that game of just slick passing football that we put together. And yeah, up and running. And we didn't really look back after that. It was, great start.
I thought you were about to get emotional then about Joel Colwell, like that Man United fan outside the Southampton game. When he gets that ball, I thought you were going to say that about Joel Colwell. I'd have enjoyed it if you did. I think Joel Colwell, like I remember those early games in the season when I think it was Wimbledon away. The stuff he does in the midfield that no other player does. Like he brings the ball forward in such a way. He breaks the lines and he breaks out of the back at the middle four in such a way. I think Wintle has been really impressive this season. The less said about the Bradford game, the better. He obviously was a bit back to form yesterday. But Joel Colwell brings something completely different. And I think we missed that so much against Bradford. And I think he's imperative to the way we play at the moment. Second goal, Ben, was a Ruben Colwell and Callum Robinson link up. Callum Robinson, look, I've had my history with Callum Robinson. We all remember the 442 magazine episode. But I just think his attitude and the way he's going about his business this season, Ben, is just really impressive, isn't it?
Looks happy, doesn't he? And I think that's the most important thing for any footballer is to look like they're enjoying themselves. And clearly been lacking that the last few years with what's going on at this club. It's also a lovely goal. Like the football
really
played around it is so nice. And to tuck it away like that, it's just, he's just really impressive, isn't he? For someone that sort of like his attitude by certain members of this podcast, e.g. all of us, has been questioned at times. You can't fault him now, can you? A real pro and really knuckle down. And it might be that he's trying to not force a move, but looking to get a move in January. And if he does, good on him.
You had to ruin it, didn't you?
He'd have earned it. And that's important then, isn't it? And he might still want to stay and get us back up. You don't know. It wouldn't surprise me the way he's going because he's clearly having a nice time. He's enjoying working under the manager. He's been given a chance. And it's paying off. Was he 3-3 at that point?
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think when you saw him talking in the press conference, there's clearly something. And it's the same with NG, but obviously we'll talk about the Wigan game. There's something, the way NG spoke after the press conference as well. There's clearly something that BBM's bringing that we were just completely missing the last few years. And I think it's that, he's creating like a togetherness. And I think all the players, no matter if you're coming off the bench, if you're not in the squad, but you will be next time, if you're starting a game for the first time, they have a position to play and they have a role to play. And I think that's why we're seeing performances where you can drop in. Last season we talked about it, but if we go into detail on it, there was the game at Preston last season where for some inexplicable reason we went 3 at the back. And it was Gutas, Darland, and I can't remember who the third centre half was. And we looked all at sea, and it was clear that Reza didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And it was just like, I need to just span the defence because I think that's going to be the best way to deal with it now. Now we have a manager who just goes, well, you can play with him, so why not do that in the cup? And it's not going to change the way we play. And I think that's the most impressive thing. And I think that's filtering through because when Callum Robinson comes on, whether it's for half an hour or an hour, he knows his role. He knows what he needs to do, and he knows his position on the pitch. And I think that's really impressive. So I think it's all testament to BBM, frankly, who's the greatest manager we've ever had. Tom, in recent years, we've struggled. We talked about we've struggled at Turf Moor. It's not been a happy hunting ground. Last season was the kind of beginning of the end, really, for Bullet. He never really recovered from that absolute rubbing at the stadium. We've gone on last days of the season recently and been spanked 3-0. The only joy we got from was Joe Rolls tripping up one of their fans a couple of seasons ago. But we went there. We weren't kind of overawed. We went toe-to-toe with them and we won. And I think that just shows the journey we're going on under BBM, doesn't it? We're going to places like that and we're just not scared.
Yeah, for sure. I think, if you compare that game compared to that Villa Cup game we had last year, which was a good performance, but it's completely poles apart, right? That was stay behind the ball, mop up as much pressure as you can and hope to catch them on the break. Where this game was, we're good enough to play football here. We're good enough to keep the ball away from them. We're good enough to create their own chances. And for most of that game, we looked like the team who were knocking on the door like the Premier League rather than like League One. It was just impressive. We were just so good with the ball. And I think that is, like you said, down to the manager, right? That's an attitude thing of saying that we can go out there and play with the best teams out there and do a number on them. And we outclassed them, we outrun them, we outfought them. It was just brilliant to watch. And, like Ben said, you look at that fixture and it is one where you're kind of like, do I really want to watch this? We're probably going to lose 2-3-0. They're not really going to get out of second gear. But I'm glad I set my 4:30 alarm for that one because it's one of the best performances I've seen. It was fantastic.
Ben, we can't move on from the Burnley game without mentioning the kind of rare Nathan Trott error. He's been fantastic this season, one of the best keepers I've seen at Cardiff City in years. But he did kind of give away a bit of a goal. I think it was his Ethan Horvath kind of tribute to last season, wasn't it?
It's nice to see people paying respect to legends. I mean, sometimes you honour the greats, and that's just all Trott was doing there. It's those the way Trott plays football. It's going to
happen, isn't it?
Yeah. And the key for any goalkeeper doing that is, and where players like Horvath and Allsop failed before, was they didn't do enough of the stuff to stop goals going in. Trott's done more than enough of that this season. I mean, he's been incredible. So you can afford him a couple of mistakes every now and again. It's going to happen the way we play. It's just learning from it and holding your hands up. And I'm sure he'll do that. And like you said, he's been class, hasn't he? Yeah. He can do a couple of those. Well, it's fine. And it was still a wicked finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great finish, to be fair. I think it's a bit of a disservice to the goal, frankly, that we're saying it was an error because obviously the goal comes a little bit after that. And I don't know how many keepers are going to save a shot like that because it was such a lovely strike.
Even Horvath, tickle arms ain't getting that.
Well, no, exactly. I mean, his arms are still out, I think, from last season's error because he's still apologising. Yeah, it's just taken him a while to kind of pull them back in. I don't know how he's getting on at Sheffield Wednesday. I have not been paying attention. Did they win? I don't watch Championship, mate, with League One.
Oh, no, they drew.
There we go. All right, moving back on to league action. Wigan. It's a place. We had to go there. Ryan Lowe's their manager. Tom, I mean, let's talk about this Wigan game in a sense of what were your expectations going into it? It's a busy couple of weeks. We're up against it on several fronts with league games on Tuesdays, cup games on Tuesdays, got the international break coming up. It's all kind of coming together. Wigan, we talked about last week, kind of mid-table, but they've got danger players and people like Paul Mullin. Glad he didn't play. You've got people like Ryan Lowe, who has been a bit of a kind of tricky manager for us in recent years, but we didn't really need to be worried, did we?
No, it was kind of a big game for us. I thought it was really, really important that we got 3 points from there. And not necessarily, I didn't care about performance and stuff. I think after losing to Bradford, I think it was important that we got 3 points. And I was a little bit nervous going into it. Like you said, it's a tricky one. I had a sneaky feeling it was going to be like a drab 0-0 and just never get going. But I think that this is the beauty of having the cup game just before it. It kind of, the memory going into that game isn't of the Bradford game. We already put that to bed by having the Burnley game. And I think it took the pressure off a little bit. And again, like in this game, we were just the best team from start to finish, really. Like, I don't think it was one of our best performances overall, but we were still clearly the better team out of the two. And yeah, these ties that we're probably looking at when the fixtures come out at the beginning of the season, thinking that's a tricky away game, we're kind of putting them to bed. Like we've beaten Luton away. We've gone to Wigan and comfortably getting a result there now without many scares. And yeah, we just keep rolling at the moment. It's another good result.
It shows how far we've come under Brian Barry Murphy. That a game in which we had 73% possession,
it's insane,
564 accurate passes. We dominated every metric in terms of shots on target, XG. We won, 640 total kind of passes that we tried, touches in the opposition box, all that stuff. And we're sat here going, probably wasn't one of our best performances. But when you put it like that, Ben. We pretty much dominated them, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't agree. It wasn't one of our best performances. I think, like, for an away performance, the way it's gone, you look at sort of Luton, Wimbledon, all of those games. We've sort of got quite a bit. We've got wins out of the games. We've probably come away from those going, it's not. We didn't. We got a bit lucky there. There was nothing lucky about this performance. This was a really, really good, strong performance. I admit it wasn't like our trailblazing best and. It wasn't a game of kind of way going, we should have slammed them 5-6-0. It was just a really professional performance, and that's more encouraging for me than sort of nicking the results are fun, but long-term success and giving me faith in this squad. It's this performance here that's just making me go, yeah, we're a really good side now. This isn't sort of like momentum and an encouraging start. This is a very good football inside, getting better with each game because just complete control. They had like 5-10 minute spells here and there, but even then, I wasn't overly worried. It was just a resounding performance that's just comfortable from every single player on the pitch.
Yeah, and I think you've got, when you look at the player, again, we made changes, didn't we? Obviously, BBM rewarded some of the players who played quite well on Tuesday. People like Isaac Davis came in. Osho came back in, again, in another kind of change to our centre-half partnership in terms of Osho and Chambers. I don't think they played together before Saturday, unless they played together at Bradford. I can't remember the Bradford lineup. I probably could go back and look at it. But Tom, it's just showed again, really, doesn't it, that we're able to bring in strong players. And if you looked at yesterday's bench, we had Willock, Salic, Turnbull, Lawler, Fish, Kellyman on the bench. I mean, all of a sudden, we've got a really strong 18, haven't we, who can show up every week. Players can rotate in and out, and we're not going to see a difference.
Yeah, it's mad, really, because I think like 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were thinking we are pretty light on the ground here, especially around that centre-back area. And yeah, we brought players in, we brought quality players in, and like you said, we're not frightened to rotate. And yeah, Isaac Davis is the perfect example, right? He's come on and he's put performances in over the last few weeks, and he deserved a start. He got a start, and then, the players can believe that if they put performances in, they're going to be rewarded, and that's great. Like, he's not scared to drop anyone to the bench. And that's how it should be, right? Callum Robinson is another one. He put a couple of good performances in. Salek was been off the boil a little bit, so he swapped them over. And it's great that we can do that. We're not kind of just resting on our laurels. You can't be complacent. And there's plenty of old heads in that team now who are thinking, right, there's a lot of good youngsters here, and my place, is at risk. And that's how it should be, right? And I think that's why some of the players who've been kind of upset, like NG and stuff in past seasons, I think it's good that they've got this competition. It'll bring the best out of them. I think they're more than willing to kind of, have that challenge, and we're just a better side for it. And yeah, another rotated team. There's no way you can pick your starting 11 and be confident you're going to get it right, because I didn't see that back four come in. Like, no. There's no way. But there we go. Fair play to him. It's working.
On Fan Hub this year does show that you can't predict it. Last year, I did quite well. I'll be honest.
Yeah, last year was quite easy.
I got quite a few Gregs that offer. It was quite good. This year, I think I've got one right so far this year. So yeah, he's pulling my pants down with that. Gutted.
I'd also say yes, as as the changes have taken place, yesterday saw Joel Bagan go from being previously the oldest defender on the pitch to now being the youngest defender on the pitch, which is quite the journey for our left back, who 2 years ago many fans wanted out of the team and out of the club forever, but he's now become Mr. Consistent and probably the first name on the team sheet in the defence, because he's the one who seems to be the most consistent in terms of keeping his left back position, mainly because there probably isn't too much competition for him, but also it's testament to him really that he's made that position his own. I'll come back to Perry NG, Ben, because Tom touched upon him there. He got the first goal, another really well-worked goal, a lovely pass and move kind of interplay with Colwill. We can talk about the goal, but we talked so much about Perry NG last season, into the start of this season. He didn't look himself, but that goal kind of brought the smile back to his face a little bit, didn't it? He looked really happy to score the goal, and he spoke after the game how important BBM has been for him. NG, consistently one of our best players in recent years, last season off the boil. If we can get him firing again, and if this goal is the start of that, then we've just got another player on our hands again, haven't we?
Yeah, he's had a really, really poor 12 months, and that's shown in, I think it's as close to 12 months for a game with him not scoring. Like, any more than that, it'd been over a year. I think it's like the 1st of October last year, he scored his last goal against Millwall. Or Mishwal, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just, that's the Perry NG I want to see. The one that played yesterday, not too focused about shithousing and winding people up, picking his moments to do it, but mainly focused on being a good footballer and getting back to sort of the level he was where he won the player of the season. He won it 2 years in a row, I think, didn't he?
Yeah,
and to go from that to where he's been last year, it's not right. So you can see something wasn't right. He's recovered from this injury. And I think like the emergence of Capaccio is huge for him, because it really does give him that challenge. Because, like, no disrespect to Marlon Romeo, but he was never, ever challenging Perry NG for that right back spot. He was there as cover. Whereas you look at it now, and it's hard to decide who do you start. Do you start Capaccio or do you start NG? Because both of them have very strong claims as to which one could start. And that's what Perry needs. He needs proper competition, and now he's finally got it. And hopefully now this is us seeing the reward from that.
Marlon Romeo still without a club. If you're saying Capaccio, should you not say Romeo?
What?
No. Fine. Tom, it was a nice goal, wasn't it, from NG? Lovely bit of play with Colwill, pass and move, and he kind of wrong-footed the keeper, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it took a deflection on the way through, didn't it, as well, which made the keeper look like he was stuck in treacle or something, because it definitely deceived him. But yeah, it was just nicely worked. And again, it's like defenders getting in those attacking areas that we didn't really have the confidence to do last season. We're just getting goals all over the pitch now. I think we're still leaving some goals out there. I think, like BBM has even said that himself. I think that's kind of what I was kind of meant earlier on by not being one of our best performances, in terms of like we're still leaving goals out there. We can still be a little bit more ruthless. But yeah, that was a lovely worked goal. Some nice interplay, and yeah, it's something I've been becoming accustomed to now. These nice goals. It felt like we went a long time without having them, but now, yeah, some really, really good, decent football in and around the box.
The Wigan commentator couldn't wait to attribute it to an own goal. It was doing my head in. It's a deflection. It's not an own goal, but all the time you mentioned it, it was like, and through an own goal, it's like, mate, it's on target. It's not an own goal. There's not a chance it's an own goal, but he was obsessed with it. Other than that, it was weird. I watched the Wigan stream that I had legally while I was in a foreign country yesterday. And yeah, it was just, they were really, really...
VPNs, eh? How about those VPNs?
Yeah. Plenty of uses from these days. But yeah, it was, they were really complimentary about us. And like at full time, they're like, yeah, we're not going to play many sides better than that. And they spoke us up. So even it's really weird to hear other teams, commentary teams going, yeah, they're good, they are. But he did do my head in with how obsessed he was that it was an own goal, and it fucking weren't.
I mean, it happens everywhere we go. I was speaking to Ash about this, and he said that, all these other fans are going, yeah, Ruben Colwill's class. He's one of the best players we'll ever see this season. How's he at this level? And all our fans are going, well, if only he had a bit more production, if only he scored a little bit more. Like, we just need to enjoy him. We need to enjoy the players and enjoy the good times. Coming back to your point about leaving goals out there, I'd say you're wrong on that front. Our XG is around 13, and we've scored 15. So if anything, we're overshooting on our expected goals. So Brian Barry,
is Tom doubting the XG?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. There we go. I take it back.
XG never lies.
Yeah.
Whoever listens to us and doesn't like XG, I'm really sorry about that.
I'm not. It's funny.
It is quite funny. Back to clean sheets, Ben. I think that was our 6th clean sheet of the season, putting us top, joint top with Huddersfield of the clean sheet ranks. Obviously, conceded a few goals against Bradford, conceded against Burnley, but it felt important, didn't it? Especially with the changes, with people like Osho coming back in. It felt important for us to get that clean sheet and kind of give the defence a bit of a confidence boost in that regard.
Yeah. Looking at Osho, I don't think he's someone that needs a confidence boost. That man has belief in himself.
Even that penalty, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Knew it was happening. Nothing he could do to stop it, but he knew it was happening. I quite like that there's that belief in them, and that's what we need, because it certainly wasn't there last year. You think back to it, and you look at some teams this year, like the ones that are struggling, you can see when defenders aren't sure what's going on. But it must be easy to have a bit of self-belief and a bit of confidence in your defence when Trott's playing like he is. Because even though Wigan didn't do too much, he still pulled off a couple of good saves and just cut stuff out. It wasn't like world-class sort of goal-saving saves, but it was stuff just to cut it out a route. And it makes life a lot easier when you've got that behind you and not Ethan Hawke.
I can't remember what to say. I can't remember who took the shot for Wigan, but there's that one where Trott got out to him really well. Again, it looks simple, but he's narrowed the angle perfectly. He's got there quickly, and he's cut out the danger completely, hasn't he, Tom? And that's like the important thing, because last season we were so hesitant at the back, but this year we've just got someone who seems so decisive.
Yeah, and even in that Burnley game, right, when he did make the mistake, he's putting those passes that give you a heart attack in straight away again. He hasn't lost confidence in the way he does it. He's like, oh yeah, I've got one wrong. I'm not changing the way I play because of that. And it's just good to see. Like you said, it builds confidence for whatever defender's on the pitch, knowing that he's behind you. Because he is a top quality keeper. And I don't think he'll be with us for too much longer. If he carries on playing like that, really, because he's better than League One level. There's no doubt about it. He's definitely the best. We don't need loads and loads of signings if they are the quality of signing we're making. Keeper like that, like best signing we made by a long shot.
But that's the key, isn't it? I think that's going back to the Burnley game as well. Is the one thing that really stood out is we didn't change our style of play. Yeah, and it's just mental how important that is to those players to buy into what BBM's saying. So I think a lot of teams do these games and sort of play at these levels, like a League One or whatever, and sort of the second they come up against a big boy, they go in flat back 5. They're trying to soak up as much pressure. And that must put a bit of doubt into your head going, oh, you said this is the way to play, and now you're going to get someone slightly better than us. You're instantly changing it and trying to soak it up. And I can get why the thinking is, but if that's and not in an Amorim way of going, even though when it's clearly not working, you're sticking to that one plan. BBM's got different variations of the plan.
Yeah.
And it's slightly different tactics for each game, but the root of what we were trying to do was there the whole time. In every game we're doing so far, it's not a case of where you're trying to figure out what he's doing. We can all clearly see this game plan. And again, it's just real testament to Brian Barry Murphy, how quickly this has come together, because this squad was a shambles last year.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And it was what we talked about last season, was that there was no, we went from short-term manager to short-term manager making these decisions, and there was no principles put in place. There was no system to buy into. And we always talked about other clubs, even them down the road, down west, whenever they replace a manager, or historically, whenever they replace a manager, it's because they can fit the system or they can fit the way they want to play. Now we're in a place where BBM's going to, if BBM's here, say he stays here for 3 years, this just as an aside. If he stays here for 3 years, the next manager will go, okay, so they had a clearly defined way of playing. I need to buy into that, or we need to find a manager who's going to buy into that. And I think that's the most crucial thing about this appointment, isn't it? It's getting it right now for the long term, which, if it pays off, then the club deserves some credit for. But we won't give them the credit just yet, because we've got 36 more games to go this season in the league. Let's talk about the penalty, Tom. We've given away a lot of penalties this season, but we finally got one of our own. Yusuf Salik absolutely yanked down in the box, and it was the most clear-cut penalty you'll ever see, wasn't it?
Yeah. Morgan Fox just completely gets the wrong side of him, has to bring him down, blatant. But those types of fouls have been happening to Salik all season, and he was due one of those because he is an absolute nuisance. But that's what he brings, right? He is a presence in the box. He gets in good positions, he gets the wrong side of defenders, and they're forced to make silly decisions like that. And that's what we want him for, because he's been a bit of a frustrated figure the last few weeks. Things haven't really been going his way, and I think he needed that. And then to dispatch the penalty the way he did as well, that's some finish. That is a confident striker there. That's straight into the side netting. That is the perfect penalty.
And Ben, his celebration kind of, it was more like the old Salek, wasn't it, coming back, the way he ran off and celebrated that goal. The Stockport goal, he kind of celebrated in a slightly muted fashion, maybe because it was the last minute of a game that we shouldn't have been kind of drawing in that fashion. But he was all in on that celebration, wasn't he? Which maybe shows that his demeanor's changing slightly.
Yeah, I don't know if he was actually celebrating the goal or the fact that the ref finally gave a foul for him.
Yeah, it's true.
Some of them have been absolutely... There's been worse than that. And it was a clear-cut penalty, don't get me wrong. But there's been worse than that not given.
Oh,
so
100%.
No wonder he looks so happy with it, because it's unbearable. I will say that's the best ref we've had this season. I think he got most of it right. I still think Matt Smith for Wigan probably should have been sent off. But you can see why he didn't give that first yellow early on. But yeah, other than that, I thought he was really good, and we paid off because it had to be given. I didn't expect the red, but then I thought, that makes sense.
He's kind of last man, wasn't he?
Yeah, no attempt to play
he's not made a genuine attempt to play the ball. That's always the crucial bit in the penalty box.
It's bottled to take the penalty out of that. You get fouled. I normally don't like players that get fouled taking the penalty. I've still got this thing of I swear I've seen 2 people do it. It's probably happened more than that, but I feel like if you get fouled, you're more likely to miss.
Yeah, I know that, but I think if you're a player who's got the confidence to take the penalty, and it's not like it wasn't a foul, I think, where you've been sometimes if you've been slide tackled and they catch your leg a little bit, that he was just pulled down. There's not going to be any residual hangover from that, really, is there? Because he was just effectively pulled over. So I don't mind it, and I don't know who else on the pitch at the time I would want to take a penalty. We've seen kind of Trot. I bet Trot.
He put top bins every time.
He put it top bins every bloody time. One shout out, Tom, Kian Ashford. He's taken a bit of a battering in recent weeks, but it was brave of BBM to keep him going, especially when you brought in Isaac Davis on the other side. You could have easily replaced Ashford with Davis, but he's kind of shown his faith in Ashford, and Ashford put in a really good performance yesterday.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him a little bit because he probably deserves some of the criticism. It's just his end product isn't consistent, I think, with Ashford. I think apart from that, every other part of his game, his work rate is fantastic.
Yeah.
And his hold-up play is decent and stuff. He's just that kind of a decent cross into the box away from being a complete player, really. But yeah, like you said, I think it's brave for BBM to leave him in there. And again, I think he's been rewarded there. That Ashford's put in that performance and God, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for the belief in it. And yeah, it's paid off for us. But yeah, I'm glad he's had a good performance because we are scapegoatless at the moment, and I don't want one of our young Cardiff products to become one of our scapegoats.
Maybe we don't need a scapegoat. Maybe things are just too good, which is weird.
I'll find one. That's who we got.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Could it be Paul Mullin? Did he play yesterday?
He's gone very the sort of Mullin for Wales crew. Very quiet at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, very quiet.
Because it felt destined that he was going to score past us. It just felt like the most Cardiff City thing to happen is Paul Mullin scores past us and all the Wrexham fans pipe up, especially after we drew him in the cup. Yeah. And he was anonymous. He's a League Two striker, isn't he? He is just a League Two bagsman.
And that's good. Look, I'm not a League Two bagsman. I do a podcast.
He's better than me.
He's far better football than me. But our defence kind of snuffed him out, really, didn't they?
Didn't give him a sniff. He was just shite. Yeah. And really ineffective with it as well. It's the sort of performance that would we've seen plenty of those from our strikers over the years of just really sort of isolated lone strikers that have nothing coming through. And when they do, they don't do a lot with it. And that's what Mullin is. It's just a striker out of his depth at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. We also had a DM yesterday. I didn't hear these chants myself, but they were talking about some of the homophobic language coming from some of our fans. I think we can all agree when you're in the away end that the banter sometimes goes a bit too far, but I think there was some suggestion that the use of some words, particularly a word beginning with the letter F, which probably went beyond the pale. I think if you're in a stand and you hear that, there's absolutely no reason not to call it out, but I understand that sometimes it's a place where it can feel quite intimidating. The person who DM'd was rightly alarmed by the language, and I think it's just something that people should be careful of, really. I think we all when you go to away ends, some of the chants do go a little bit too far, but I think use of particular words that are very stigmatized and very stigmatizing to people, and very kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They can cause a lot of harm. I know people don't like to think that words can cause harm, but they can cause a lot of people to feel unsafe and feel unhappy in an environment that they want to be in. Football should be a safe space for all. So if you do hear people using that language, by all means, call it out to a steward. Or tell whoever you see. We're happy to call it out as well.
It's just a wanker's trick, isn't it? Just going like
wanker's trick.
I'm all for like abusing players and sort of going down that route. It's fine. Like, but just do it with like, be creative with it. Do it something funny, not just like outrightly sort of targeting a group of people that sort of have a hard time as it is. There's no need to go down that route of like homophobic chanting, racist chanting. It's just a dickhead's trick. Be creative or just don't say anything with it.
And if all else fails, call him a pedo. British people love doing that.
Nothing wrong with a nonce joke. Big fan. Big fan.
No, like, don't do that. That's bad as well.
But yeah, fair play. The person that's called out, I won't name him, but yeah, a lot of bottle for them to do it. And they were then questioned by their own fans of why they said it. And the response was, what else am I supposed to say? Literally fucking anything. Anything else within reason.
I know another fan who did the same at a Reading game a few years ago, and the same thing happened to him. He called it out at the time, and he got kind of turned upon by his own fans, which is just not on, really. We're all Cardiff fans at the end of the day. We all just want to enjoy the environment we're in. And there's just no need, as you say, Ben, there's no need for language like that when there is plenty of other language you can use. And let's talk about the orange kit, Tom. You're wearing an orange kit. As a man who likes orange things, it's not too bad, is it, that orange kit? After all,
no, it's not too bad.
I didn't know where I was going to go then, did you?
No, I when I put it on earlier, it's like I'm going to get a boost for wearing this kit, but there we go. I don't care. It is one of those kits that classic just looks better on a professional athlete than triple XL in the stand, but. Yeah, I think I might purchase it at some point, especially if we keep winning in it as well. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I feel like Ben Price might disagree, though. Are you a fan of that kit? Yeah, I thought so.
The away, I wasn't a fan of it at the start, and I probably won't buy it, but I don't mind it. As Ben James got behind him there, I don't mind my
finger. There it is.
Yeah, the orange.
I really like the away kit.
It's growing on me. It's definitely better with like the black numbers. I think the problem I had with it sort of jarred it for me was when we first wore it with the white numbers because the club forgot to order the black ones, which is class. Yes. But that orange kit is it's gopping. It's bad. It is
word in ages.
Bad. I like the shorts. I like the navy shorts.
I really like the shorts as well.
Yeah. The shirt itself, it's even if it was on offer for a £5, I'm not buying it.
I am.
Yeah.
How much? £4 for the socks. 3 pairs, please. Right. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Look, guys, the trend is when we lose, we get a lot of tweets. When we win, we get about half the same number of tweets. Let's all enjoy the wins, guys. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Alex Bennett, the bounce back is the sign of a top team after what could have been a tricky away game. Chambers seems to have settled into CB, or am I getting ahead of myself? You're not getting ahead of yourself. I think he's really settling into that role. And I think there's still an important player there when we need him. Liam Williams, emphatic response to last weekend, controlled the game incredibly well, shows Wigan are nowhere near the levels of Bradford, but also that our lads can produce a quality response to a setback such as last weekend and look forward to the upcoming battles. Forever Blue 86, less than 10 defeats all season. Any Ben, you having that?
Yeah, it wouldn't be against it.
Well, have we lost one so far this season in the league?
Yeah, one. That's our only loss all season. It's the first. That Bradford game was our first loss under BBM, including preseason games.
And cup and everything else. Wow. Tom, you taking less than 10 defeats all season?
Yeah, if we keep playing the way we are, I can't see as many teams are going to turn us over.
Well, if you go, we've lost 1 in 10 so far. There's 46 games in a season. In theory, we're going to lose 4.5 games. If you do the maths, and that's just maths. You can't argue with maths, or as the Americans call it, math. And then they get thrown out of the Ryder Cup course. Mark, Cardiff Development. What date is the open top bus parade after the champions are crowned in January? February the 18th. It's my birthday. Barry Jones, the future bright, the future is orange. What are your thoughts on the third kit? We've already talked about that. But good question. Ollie Carter, cruise control all game. Maybe Ruben's worst game this season and we still played well. Can't think of any negatives about Cardiff at the moment. What's not to like, Ben? The orange kit?
The orange kit, yeah. It is just that. Yeah. Even the social media games picked up, isn't it? I did really like the full-time tweet. Thought it was funny.
Yeah, good tweeting. Tom, any negatives for you?
Just I live quite far away from the ground now, really. Bit of a pity. It's quite hard for me to go to games. But apart from that, no negatives.
Ollie Carter, of course, friend of the pod. Crystal Watts, we were great. Never needed to get out of second versus Burton on Tuesday. And I think it's already won. So can't get complacent, but you think it's all... Oh, no, sorry. I see what you're saying. Can't get complacent and think it's already won. Fair point. We need to kind of button down for these games. GT the Bluebird. I know some people question the starting lineup, but this is BBM's way. If you put in the work and perform like the lads did against Burnley, you'll earn your stop to play. I love that mindset. P.S. Shout out to Joel. He was a warrior in that Burnley match. Bloody love Joel Bacon. Gareth Dunning, third gear. Win Tuesday, back top. John Shed, the Mullin for Wales crowd, where are they now? Why do they have to wait 3 days to see the City play again? Twiddling my thumbs till Tuesday. Yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it, Tom, that last season we dreaded every next game, but now we're just buzzing for each game as they come.
Yeah, it's just exciting. It's like, oh, yeah, another one. Oh, yeah, this random trophy, this is on as well. And it's just like they are coming thick and fast, and we're still in all the trophies as well, so it's great.
Yeah. Owen Davis, excellent performance, proper game management. A little disappointing to hear a few moans about us not getting it forward in the crowd. I thought our patient build-up was ideal to play. Harsh on with Puskod being dropped, but in BBM we trust. With James Roberts, Wigan deserved to lose for simply calling their gaff the Brick Community Stadium. What's his name from Father Ted? Not Father Ted, but the other guy. Jack. I love my brick. Father Jack. I love my brick. Jay Mills, yes, boys, good solid away win in a bright orange kit. I'll take it. Happy days. Gareth Jones, most controlled 90 minutes away from home, just that I can remember in a long time. Great way to bounce back. Matt CCFC, been a great response since Bradford. Very comfortable today. Perry, Osher, and Wintle superb, and we didn't really get out first gear. Still undefeated away the season. Big opportunity Tuesday now against a poor Burton side to get back to the top. Bluebirds. Sven Carr, here's the big one, boys. What a week that was, and real from everyone. Love it. Top 3 biscuits. We talked about this off air because it's a question that needed some thought. I'm going to come to you first, Ben. Top 3 biscuits.
I'm going chocolate hobnob.
Classic.
Yeah.
I'm going caramel digestive. I'm feeling
a bit they're my top 2 as well. Here we go.
Superb. And I don't know if you've seen these, but in Asda, they've got these chocolate chip shortbreads. Like the Asda bakery there. They are delightful. You don't want too many. But with a cup of tea, yeah.
You say bakery. Do they come in like a bag of 4?
Yeah.
Do they count as biscuits?
Shortbread, it's a biscuit.
But I in my head, a biscuit is just like what you get.
If we're going that then, what are we going? Rogue Shout.
Go on.
Malted milk chocolate.
Oh, that is a great shout. Didn't see that coming. Tom's disappointed, but you've covered off your top 2 already.
It's nostalgia.
And what's your addition for third, Tom?
I think like jam and cream biscuits. Do you know? Yeah, but the chocolate hobnob, man. Like I can't see past that as my number 1.
No, I think I'd have chocolate hobnob in there as well. It's an elite biscuit. It deserves the praise it's getting. I think it's probably going to go for the Ballon d'Or of the biscuit world one day. So I'm going to put the chocolate hobnob up there. I'm going to have to change it up because you guys have all gone different ones. So I'm going to go for a nice biscuit. You know, a biscuit that just says nice on it. Those are class biscuits. And then I'm going to go for like a Fox's Crunch Cream.
Nice.
One of those.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Solid.
But delicious.
Good biscuit. The Viennese biscuits, they're like with the chocolate in the middle. Very good biscuit as well. I like a chocolate biscuit, I'm discovering here.
Look, I don't think I've met a biscuit I don't really like. I'm not that fussed on like a Garibaldi.
I'm not against them though.
I'm not against them. I'll eat them. I'll eat a Garibaldi.
Time and place. There's a time and place.
For a Garibaldi. I even like a plain digestive, a plain rich tea, a plain hobnob. They have their place in this world.
You're just naming biscuits now.
Yeah. Welcome to the View from the Biscuit pod. This week we're talking about our hobnob's performance against a cup of tea. John Walsh said, I'm already feeling pity for Burton Albion FC. David Charles says, apart from 2 very short spells, we completely controlled the game. Wigan just didn't know what to do. Actually felt a bit sorry for their right back in the first half. Great win and overall team performance, man for man. Lee Spears says Perry is into his 6th season at the City. He's seen it all here. So to hear his interview talking about BBM post-match is another sign that we've got the right man. Also delighted for NG after his recent performances. When he's firing, he's surely one of our best players. MJCCFC imagined a world where he employed the safe hands of Ryan Lowe over BBM and made myself cry with pain. Could have happened. Rodri, what a great result. Frosties, like the cereal. Do you get it? Like the kit, because it's kind of orange. It's great stuff. Di Richards, composed and in control. Managed squad rotation will obviously be key this year. Thank fuck we hired BBM. Oliver Rees, mauled by the Bluebirds. Emmanuel Salix finally got his penalty. Ashford was amazing. Where's the best pint of Guinness in Wales? My God, where's the best pint of Guinness in Wales? Tom, Ben, any ideas? Ben, are you a Guinness man?
I'm not a Guinness. Even when I was drinking, wasn't a Guinness man. I've had like a couple of days, like a couple of sessions on it, and what it did the next day to that toilet, I can't forgive. So, unfortunately, I have to leave Guinness out of this for me.
Where's the best pint of Guinness in Wales, Tom? It's a hard one.
I don't know. I haven't lived in Wales for 10 years, which doesn't help. Don't know. I can tell it's better in Melbourne, but that's not what he asked. So
no.
I'll keep it to myself.
I'll just go. I like a pint of Brains Dark when I'm in Wales, and you get a nice one of them at the Red Lion in Llandaff. So I'm just going to go for that. It's a bit of a cop out, but look, I'm copping out. CCFC 21. We've now got 4 home games in a row against Burton, Leyton Orient, Newport, and Reading. Burton 24th, Leyton Orient 17th, Newport 22nd in League Two, and Reading in 19th. A really great opportunity to establish ourselves. David Charles, not too sure about Tony the Tiger kit, and Baz T. Chambers is actually really good at football. One day it's going to click for us, and we will give someone a battering. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Before we look ahead to Burton and Leyton Orient this week, there is one big thing to talk about, and that is, of course, the Carabao Cup tie against the boys from Hollywood, Wrexham. Tom, when you looked at the draw, there were 3 Welsh clubs in there. I think we had a 1.533 chance or something because there were 16 teams in there. 1.53 chance to draw a Welsh team, and a Welsh team we did draw. How pleased were you that it was Wrexham rather than the Jack Bastards?
Yeah, I just really didn't want to draw Swansea. That, like, home or away, didn't want to play them.
Neutral ground, anywhere.
Never want to play them again. Sick of them. But the Wrexham one, it is quite exciting. Like, I think I still would have rather play like a Premier League like giant, I think, like away from home or something, take a huge crowd. But I don't know, it's amazing, like the kind of the reach this has as a fixture. Like my wife's mum mentioned that we were playing Wrexham, and like she's got no interest in football whatsoever and lives in Melbourne. Do you know what I mean? Like they just draw attention from people who just ordinarily wouldn't pay any attention to football. So, it's a big opportunity for us, to get more eyes watching the way we play at the moment as well. So I'm really, really excited. I think I would have rather them at home than away, but I don't know. There's something quite, I don't know. I do like the narrative of us going up there and hopefully doing a number on them. Yeah,
I mean, Ben, as I'd say we're slightly younger fans. We haven't really played Wrexham all that consistently, have we? We've had the odd Premier Cup game. I think, when you look back sort of 13 years in Ryan March's case, when you look back that far, there was that Premier Cup game. I think we played them in the league potentially that year as well. But since then, we've kind of diverged a little bit as they dropped down the league. For me, and I don't mean this in any sort of patronising way. I've never really considered them a rival. I remember going to watch them play in the LDV Vans Trophy at a time when Wrexham were really kind of on their uppers, and it was like, we need fans to come and just support the club and, just to show that solidarity with them. I don't really see it as a rivalry, but it feels like there's some people on both sides trying to force it, aren't they? They're trying to force this kind of like rivalry between us. Do you see it that way? Do you think there's much needle in this game, or is it just a nice occasion where 2 Welsh clubs who haven't played together for a long time are playing each other?
I'm with you. I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. I had it before, like the Disney stuff. It's a club, like through the Wales stuff. Like, you speak to their fans, a lot of them are sound, and like they've gone through a lot to support that club, and now they're reaping the rewards. So I'm very jealous of like how it's all gone. But looking at it, there's no real rivalry with them for me. That being said, though, if it does generate clicks, I am willing to fight Tommy Cow back.
Okay, is that your official call out to the Cows man?
Not yet. But I've got a cheese grater ready to go. That's all I'm saying. Look, hype's hype, and if it gets me on Disney Plus, is what it is, isn't it? You got to play the game. Yeah,
and ultimately that's what this is about, isn't it? It's playing the game.
It is, playing one game of football. But it is strange to play them, and just watching the draw, I had this feeling it was going to be them from the start. It was just like, this is just going to happen, and it's exactly what happened, and I'm quite excited for it. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a circus. It's going to be stupid, but it could be quite fun as well.
I was desperate for Tottenham away, and they were ball 15 and we were ball 3, and they drew ball 2, so we were 1 ball away from drawing Tottenham away. Wrexham's a nice backup. I haven't been to the racecourse in years, so it'd be great to go there as an away fan. And Tom, we talked last season about how annoying it would be that Wrexham would have overtaken us. We wanted to play them this year in League One anyway. Obviously, look, you can't criticise the stuff that they've done. They've done a fucking brilliant job in terms of taking them from the conference all the way up. Parky's done a great job. The people who are running that club have done a great job. They've turned them from this kind of in the doldrums football club to being one of the most famous football clubs in the world. It's mental when you think about it. But also for us now, especially in the BBM, it's a chance to play a club that is effectively one step ahead of us in terms of being in the Championship. They've built something. It's a chance for BBM to test himself against a different type of outfit. We know that Wrexham are quite physical. They've got people like Kiefer Moore. They play a kind of, at times, attritional brand of football, though they can play pretty good football, and they are trying to change the way they play football, I think, with people like Broadhead coming in. It's a good test, isn't it, for BBM against a team effectively where we want to be?
Yeah, definitely. I think, and as a fan base, I reckon we fancy it, right? I think the way that we've been playing, that team that Burnley put out against us wasn't their strongest team, but it's probably still better than Wrexham on paper. And we've done them. So there's no reason why we can't go up there and cause an upset. They'll be nervous going into this game. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think we are. Because if we lose, right? I'd be gutted, but, we should be losing that game away from home against a Championship outfit. They're the ones who've got something to lose here because they keep not drawing Premier League teams in cups, and it's starting to irk them. And they'll already be thinking ahead to that quarter-final of who they can play, right? And we could really spoil the party. And this is how it can become a rivalry as well, right? I think we're not rivals at the moment, but I think it could, we beat them.
Start something, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly, right? We beat them up there, and then maybe we get promoted, then we're suddenly in the league with them and stuff. That's how stuff starts. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. And like you said, it will be a good test for our team to see where we're really at, because they're not going to put a weakened side out against us in that game. They'll want to win that game too. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really good occasion, I reckon.
Yeah, and Ben, how do you think BBM approaches it from our side? Obviously, young team, could be a relatively hostile atmosphere up there. Is he going to kind of lean on the experienced heads, or is he just going to trust the youth?
I think he's going to lean on the experienced heads of the older heads in the squad, like Joel Bagan. I think that's really important to do that and sort of use his experience and his sort of vast age.
Yeah.
Go from there. Excuse me. I don't know. It's a really weird one how he's going to play it, because it's a difficult thing. I think the difficulty we've got this year is we've not really got a derby to play in. So you don't know how, when it comes to sort of the more edgy atmospheres and sort of the teams that really sort of could create that sort of derby day atmosphere, even though it's not a derby. Anyone that says it, press, try and build it up as a derby, it's not a derby. It might be a rivalry, but it's not a derby. Same when they played Swansea, won't be a derby. It's too far away. But it will be edge to it. There will be a bit of needle. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how our players respond to that. And that's probably where they've got the advantage in that side of things, is they've got players that have played in these bigger games and sort of used to it. I think there's not a chance Chambers doesn't start that game if he's fit, just because he's got that old head. Same with probably Dye Turnbull probably goes in there because of his experience with the old firm. That's where those players come in huge. Bring Joe Rawls back for one game. His understanding of that is just that's sort of probably where we will struggle, is those sort of moments. And that's what, again, later in the season it'll be interesting to see how players, when it gets to the crunch, it gets to how these players react. Because right now it's fun. There's not much pressure. It's just kicking on. It'll be these games where the players sort of get a bit of experience in learning how to handle that pressure.
Isn't it mental that Rolls and Rinomhota haven't found a new club? It's just you think there'd be someone out there for them.
I was saying Wrexham or Charlton for Joe Rolls. They seem like the most obvious destinations, and it hasn't gone to either of them. And I think he was training with Aldershot the other week.
He was training with Aldershot, yeah. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. Right, let's look ahead to the week ahead. Tom, Tuesday, Burton Albion at home. Burton are not having a good season. They are rock bottom of the league. One win so far from 8 games. They do have those 2 games in hand on Wickham in 20th to crawl it back. 2 draws, 5 defeats. They've conceded 14 goals. I think they lost yesterday quite comfortably to Plymouth. That said, we cannot be complacent, can we? We have to go in with the same mindset as we go into every game, which is we need a win and this team could be good.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I think a lot of our fans going, we're going to batter these. And there's that nagging part of me going, these are the games that might catch us out. But then there's another part of me going, I think we put 6 past them. So I don't know. We should be battering these, really. Like, I take 1-0 now, don't get me wrong. But, like, I don't know, these are the games where we could put down a marker. We've got a run of games, we said earlier on, against teams at the bottom of the league. A couple of them are home as well. So, yeah, I think this is a really important couple of weeks to really show our credentials and put these teams to bed and, like, put in a couple of decent performances and build up that goal difference because, you know, that might become important towards the end of the season. But, yeah, we've got nothing to worry about going into this game, that's for sure.
Ben, as someone who's really bad at predicting the team, I'm coming to you. What kind of changes do you expect from BBM going into this one?
Tom Heaton to start in goal.
Nice.
Paul Quinn at right back.
Good.
And John Parkin at centre back.
John Parkin at centre back?
Yeah.
Not
I'm
CM?
I'm bad at predicting. No. We're not going to play him on the wing, you. That would just be silly.
I think he can get up and down, slowly.
You can get up.
Yeah, he can't get down. Do you expect many changes for Tuesday? Do you expect people like Puskod to come back in? Do you expect to see a debut for Kellyman?
No, the Kellyman thing's interesting. Is that I thought like he might get a few minutes yesterday. I thought like with the way the squad that it was going, I thought, there's still another sub window to make as well. I thought he might have brought him on to get him a bit more minutes when the game was there, but I suppose it wasn't 2-0 till late on. So this might be a game where Kellyman does get a bit of time, but I don't expect him to start. I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's almost identical, especially sort of at the back.
Yeah.
The only change I could see is possibly Joel Colwell getting rested and Di Turnbull coming back in, but I think that would be harsh. I think Colwell deserves to play until he's run himself into the ground, which the way he runs about and the energy he has probably isn't going to be until 2030.
I reckon, like when he's running, the ground must shake, and you must hear him. Like he's not a big boy, but like he runs with such energy. He must be like slap, slap, slap every time he runs.
I reckon he can make up a sandwich in like 30 seconds. He's just got that energy about him of just pure
like a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
Go on, Ben.
I just think I don't see many changes coming from that. It was such a good, comfortable performance. It's not like you're looking at it going, oh, he looked so and so looked tired when they came on. I think Robinson deserves to stay on the pitch. Like you see, not really changing the striker, even though Salek scored. Yeah. Wingers, Ashford's finally played himself into form. And I think that's really impressive. You've got to keep that going with him. He needs that momentum. You can't drop him now. He's got back playing well. And Davis didn't do much wrong to change. Willock might come back in, but for me, I'd like Davis to get a run of games. And the midfield with Wintl's not dropping out. No, I don't see any changes, really.
Wow, that's a big call. It is a big week, Tom. Obviously, we've got Burton on Tuesday. We go quickly into Leyton Orient next Saturday. Obviously, one of these games is our game in hand. Leyton Orient is probably going to be the tougher test than Burton, frankly. Leyton Orient, of which Richie Wellens had a great season last year. They haven't started with the same, probably, intensity, but the way they play, they could turn it around at any point. Is it crucial that we get 2 wins this week? Would you take 2 wins and a draw? Or is it just winning that game in hand that's the most important thing?
I think we've got to win both these games just to keep the kind of momentum going. They're 2 teams that you expect to beat at home. So I think it's really important we get 6 points in those 2 games. And I'd be disappointed if we got anything less, to be honest, because I don't. We will have tougher fixtures when we play the likes of Bolton and stuff in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I think these are the ones that'll be 6 points, nothing less.
Yeah, Leyton Orient, Ben, they haven't had the best of runs recently. I think they've drawn against Bolton, lost to Reading, lost to Stevenage. These are the games we should be winning, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if you're looking to bounce straight back up to the Championship, we need to win that. We need to win both of those games. Especially when I think Leyton Orient is still going to come good. I think they might still be one of those sides that look at getting a playoff push. And so now when they're not on form is the time to sort of go against them and sort of pick up a win. Burton, I think, will go down, and we have to beat teams that are in relegation places. We saw how poor teams like Peterborough were, and Burton are at that level. We need to make sure we punish those teams and sort of build up our goal difference, like Tom said. So they're all really important. And sort of, you can go into that. And then if you go into the international break a few weeks later, winning both of those games, the momentum's still there. Players are rest, rejuvenated, because then, like Tom said, it gets a lot more difficult then. The next 3 fixtures after that are Reading, Bolton, and Blackpool. They are tougher games, and that might be where we drop a couple of points. So we can't afford to let points slip now if we want to stay within that touching pack. Because, look at Stevenage. I didn't expect them to be on the run they are. Lincoln have picked up massively, unbeaten in 6. It's tighter than I thought it would be. I thought it might be a bit more comfortable. And even teams like Huddersfield and Wimbledon, sort of there, if we drop points, they'll be willing to capitalise on us. So it's tight now.
I am astonished that your boys, Burton Albion, have yet to be relegated. When you look at their record in the last few seasons, 20th in 23-24 with 46 points, 20th in 24-25 with 47 points. And obviously this season they're rock bottom. It's a miracle. I don't have nothing against them as a football club. I've everything against their beer, Carling. Yuck. Madrid good. But at the same time, it's just a miracle that a club like that hasn't kind of dropped down the league. So Ben, 2 wins this week. Is that what you're going for? Or are you going to say something else? Because you kind of went to say something.
So I was going to say, yeah, it's just they feel like they should already be playing in like a similar league as Forest Green. They should already be back in the National League after their spell in the Championship, but somehow they've stayed in League One the whole time.
I mean, it's testament to the job that Clough did, frankly, as a manager.
Yeah.
When he was in charge, he did a wonderful job. He took them up to the Championship and all that kind of stuff. So it took them probably well beyond their means, but it just feels like they're slowly falling back to their kind of natural position, which is probably League 2, mid-table. Go on, Ben, 2 wins this week?
Yeah, I'll go 2 wins.
Any predictions?
3-0 against Burton and a 2-1 win against Leyton Orient.
2-1 win against Leyton Orient. Tom, any predictions?
4-0 against Burton, and I think we'll beat Leyton Orient 1-0.
2 clean sheets. I'm going to go 4-0 against Burton. I'm going to go 2-1 against Leyton Orient. We'll concede a goal, but we'll win the game ultimately. And it's a big week ahead for the Bluebirds. We'll be back at some point during the week, maybe, if we beat Burton and we can have a fun time with it. We'll talk then. If you like what we do, twitter.com/VFTNinian. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below. It all helps us with the algorithmic gods. If you're listening on a podcast platform, feel free to drop us a review, 5 stars only. Anything less than that, we will not be happy. If you want to give us some money, kofi.com/VFTNinian. Ben, any last words?
No.
Tom, can you sum it up in a noise?
Oh, I got stage fright then. I couldn't think of any noises. And then my words didn't come out either.
The panic on your face, Ben. That was a proper bottle of that. Fair play.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to me there. I'm not with it today. I can only apologise. There we go.
Poor pod performance, but we'll be back next week. See you later.